The fluorescent lights of the hospital ceiling blurred above me as I fought to keep my eyes open. My body felt heavy, drained, as if something had been ripped out of me. At first, I thought it was just the anesthesia making me dizzy, but then the pain hit a deep, sharp ache in my side that made me gasp. I turned my head and saw my mom standing at the foot of the bed, her arms folded, eyes cold. My dad leaned against the wall, scrolling his phone, not even glancing at me. "What? What happened?" My voice cracked. Mom's lips curled. "Don't start whining. You should be proud. You finally did something useful for once in your life. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video." Confusion burned in my chest. I tried to sit up, but the pain stabbed harder. My hand went to my side, feeling the bandages. A chill ran through me. My mouth went dry. Did you take my kidney?" Dad finally looked up, smirking like I'd just asked something obvious. "Relax, you didn't need both. Your sister's boyfriend, Tyler, did." I froze. My sister's boyfriend. Not even family by blood. My heart pounded and I shook my head violently. You gave him my kidney? Without asking me?" Mom leaned closer, her perfume sharp, her eyes colder than I'd ever seen. "You're just a burden, Jenna. You can't even hold a steady job. You can't provide us with anything. Tyler, on the other hand, is important. He's successful. He's strong. He's going to marry into this family and actually bring us something to be proud of. You were never going to do that." Tears blurred my vision. "I didn't consent. You had no right." Dad cut me off with a laugh. "Consent? Don't make me laugh. We raised you. You owe us. We signed the forms. No one asked questions." I felt sick. My whole body trembled as I tried to process it. My own parents had signed my life away, literally stolen a piece of me just to keep my sister's boyfriend alive. As if on cue, my sister Melissa strolled into the room, arm linked with Tyler's. His skin looked pale, but his smile was wide, victorious. He lifted his shirt to show the fresh scar across his stomach. "Hey, Jenna," Melissa purred. "Don't look so dramatic. Tyler needed it more. You wouldn't understand what it's like to actually matter to someone." Tyler chuckled weakly, still recovering but smug enough to spit venom. "Guess being worthless has its perks. At least your kidney wasn't totally wasted." The words cut deeper than the incision on my side. I whispered, "I could die from this." "Did you even think of that?" Melissa rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. The doctor said you'll survive. And if you didn't, well..." She glanced at my mom, who smiled thinly. "Then we'd only have to worry about one child, not two." Mom actually nodded. "Exactly. Less burden. More space for people who actually give us something back." The rage that surged through me almost knocked me off the bed. I wanted to scream, to rip out the IV, to claw at the smug faces around me. But my body was too weak, my voice shaking. You traded me for him," I whispered. Dad's eyes hardened. "Don't act like a victim. You should be grateful you finally contributed to this family. Tyler's worth more than you ever will be. That's just the truth." Melissa leaned closer, her smirk inches from my face. "And don't even think of making this a big deal. No one's going to believe you. The paperwork is signed. The surgery's done. You're just going to heal quietly, like the little servant you've always been." Tyler squeezed her hand, his smug grin stretching wider. "Thanks for the kidney, Jenna. I'll take care of it better than you ever took care of your life." The room spun. My chest tightened. Every fiber of me wanted to scream, but I bit my lip so hard I tasted blood. I knew one thing. They were wrong about me staying quiet. Because even if my body was weak, even if they stole a piece of me, they had no idea what they had just unleashed. In that moment, staring at their smirking faces, I made a promise to myself. I would take everything back. Piece by piece, I'd make sure they understood what it meant to call me a burden. And this time, it wouldn't be me lying on the hospital bed when it was over. The days after the surgery dragged like years. I was kept in the hospital longer than expected because my body wasn't healing well. Every movement burned, and every time I looked at the scar on my side, I felt like I had been marked as expendable. But my parents treated it like nothing. They visited only once after the surgery, not to check on me, but to parade Tyler around like he was the hero of the story. Mom swept into my room with a bouquet, but instead of handing it to me, she placed it in Tyler's arms. "For you, sweetheart. You've been so strong." Melissa kissed his cheek and smirked at me. "You should see how the neighbors have been praising him. They said he's a fighter. Everyone's so relieved he's okay." I croaked, my throat still raw. "Relieved he's okay? What about me? I'm the one missing an organ." Dad barked a laugh. "Don't be dramatic. No one needs 2 kidneys. You're fine. Stop trying to steal his spotlight." Steal his spotlight. That was the line that stuck with me. My suffering wasn't even mine to own. It was just a footnote in Tyler's glorious survival. When the nurse came in to check my vitals, I tried to speak, to tell her this wasn't my choice. But Mom's glare cut through me. "Don't embarrass us," she hissed under her breath. "You think anyone will believe your story? We signed for you because you're incapable of deciding anything. They'll just think you're bitter." Melissa chimed in loud enough for the nurse to hear. "She's always been like this, craving attention. She can't stand that Tyler is stronger than she'll ever be." The nurse offered me a pitying smile and left without saying a word. I was trapped, stitched, silenced, suffocating. When I was finally discharged, my parents didn't even drive me home. They sent me in a taxi with the bill in my hand, muttering that I should contribute, since Tyler's recovery had already drained enough from them. I stumbled into my apartment, the air heavy and stale. Every corner reminded me of how small my life had become, how little they thought of me. I collapsed onto the couch, clutching my side, my mind racing. Days turned into weeks. Tyler recovered quickly. He and Melissa threw a little celebration dinner at my parents' house. Photos spread on social media, my family smiling around the table, glasses raised, toasting to Tyler's second chance at life. And me? I wasn't even invited. Instead, I scrolled through the pictures on my cracked phone, staring at their happy faces while my scar throbbed. The caption under one photo froze my blood. "Family is everything. We protect the ones who matter most." The ones who matter most, and I wasn't one of them. It got worse. I overheard a conversation one evening when Melissa accidentally called me. Not realizing the phone had connected, her voice was sharp, mocking. "She's pathetic, limping around like she's some martyr. Tyler and I gave her life meaning. Without us, she'd still be a useless nobody." Tyler's voice joined hers, dripping with arrogance. "Honestly, she should thank us. Now at least she can say she saved someone important." Then Mom's laugh echoed in the background. "She'll never fight back. That girl's too weak. She always has been." I ended the call, my hands trembling so violently I nearly dropped the phone. Their words seared into me, but instead of breaking me, they carved something harder, sharper. Weak. Useless. A burden. No, I wasn't weak, I wasn't useless, and I sure as hell wasn't a burden. I stopped answering their calls. I stopped reacting to their little jabs. I disappeared into silence. Because silence gave me room to think, to plan. And the more I planned, the clearer it became. They thought stealing my kidney was the end of me. But it was only the beginning. I waited. That was the hardest part, letting them believe I was broken, letting them laugh unchecked while I stitched myself back together. They thought I was weak because I stayed quiet, because I didn't scream when they flaunted what they'd stolen. But silence isn't weakness. Silence is a weapon when you know how to use it. It started small. Tyler was back at work within 2 months, bragging to everyone about his miracle recovery. He strutted around like a hero, and Melissa posted endless pictures of their nights out, their dinners, their smiling faces framed with captions about family support. I let them. I wanted the arrogance to grow, because the bigger the ego, the harder the fall. I got my chance sooner than expected. Tyler's company held a health insurance review, standard checks, paperwork, blood work, proof of surgeries. I worked in admin at a clinic, and I had access to medical files. It wasn't hard to piece the truth together. The surgery had been pushed through under my name, with my parents' signatures. No consent forms, no proper trail, sloppy and illegal. I stared at the documents for hours, my hands shaking, until a smile crept across my face. They had stolen from me, yes, but in their arrogance they had left evidence everywhere. I didn't take it to the police right away. No, that would have been too easy, too quick. I wanted them to feel it first. So I sent anonymous copies to Tyler's boss, to the hospital board, to the insurance company. And then I waited. The fallout was immediate. Tyler was called into HR, blindsided. His boss discovered the insurance fraud. The hospital, terrified of liability, opened an internal investigation. And just like that, Tyler's golden boy image started to rot. Melissa called me one night, her voice frantic. "What did you do? They're saying Tyler's transplant was illegal, that it was stolen. Mom said you must have set this up." I let her scream. When she finally went quiet, I said calmly, "Funny. You all said I'd never fight back. Looks like you underestimated me." She cursed me, shrieked threats, then hung up. Days later, it got worse for them. The hospital board subpoenaed the forms my parents had signed. The signatures matched Mom and Dad's names right there, greenlighting the theft of my kidney. And when investigators pressed them, they slipped. They admitted they'd done it for the good of the family. Their good. Their definition of family, which had never included me. I made sure the story didn't stay buried. Local papers got tipped off. Parents forged consent, daughter's kidney stolen for daughter's boyfriend. Headlines spread. Faces they'd spent their whole lives polishing with fake smiles were now plastered across articles dripping with disgrace. When the police finally came knocking, my parents weren't smirking anymore. My dad's face turned gray, my mom sobbed, Melissa begged, and Tyler raged. But none of it mattered. The law had no sympathy for thieves who carved into their own child. The night before their arraignment, Mom showed up at my apartment, pounding on the door until I opened it. Her face was streaked with tears, her voice desperate. "Jenna, please. You can't do this. We're your parents. Blood is blood." I stared at her, my scar aching under my shirt. "You stole my blood, my organ, my dignity, and you thought I'd stay silent. Blood doesn't bind, respect does, and you lost that a long time ago." Her sobs followed me as I shut the door in her face. The next morning, I stood outside the courthouse. Reporters swarmed my parents and sister as they were led inside. Tyler kept his head down. Melissa hissed at cameras. Dad tried to hide behind his coat. The same people who once laughed at my expense were now jeered at, spat on, ridiculed. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Later that night, Caleb, my little nephew, who'd always looked up to Melissa like a queen, messaged me privately. "I'm proud of you. You showed them they can't treat people like garbage." I read it 3 times, tears finally sliding down my face. They had stolen a piece of my body, but I had taken back everything they valued: their image, their control, their pride. And as I lay in bed, the scar on my side no longer felt like a mark of weakness. It felt like a weapon I had turned back on them. For once, they were the burden. And I let them carry it. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.